Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm playing a series of videos I've been doing for a little while now. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie, I am excited about this one. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is definitely the case today. I, in fact, specifically took this particular opportunity. I got off of work, wanted something to eat. I was like fucking starving. And originally I was going to go to Lake Street Cafe. It's not too far from where I live and it's kind of on the way. And, and I reviewed, by the way, I reviewed their donut burger. Go watch that review. So I was thinking about doing that. But they went over there, they opened up a new gas station kind of along my homeward route. I've been meaning to hit it up. So, where did I go? What am I reviewing? What's going on? Boom! They opened up a Casey's. And specifically, I'm going to try out some Casey's Peppermint Mocha iced coffee. See, Casey's, if you're unaware, they are a gas station chain. And I've reviewed a number of stuff from Casey's over the years. They do pretty decent food. I got a couple pieces of pizza to kind of tide me over. But I've reviewed some of their stuff. They're usually pretty good. But they also do like knockoff stuff where they go over there and they they have like their own brand of soda and stuff and everything. And they have their own iced coffee. But we can't just go over there. Okay, yes, it's peppermint mocha. I love peppermint mocha. But we have to go over there and pit it up against the OG. Boom! Starbucks iced mocha or peppermint mocha frappuccino. I already actually did a comparison. By the way, I did a review of this. I did a comparison review where I compared this against the Dunkin' Donuts Thin Mints iced coffee. Go watch that review. But figured we had to make it happen, folks. We had to. Ha 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 ha. So let's give it a go. First, we're just going to try out the Casey's. I've had their iced coffee maybe a couple times. It's not a regular thing. I don't really hit up Casey's all that often. Unless I'm like just grabbing something for food reasons. Did I get that pretty good? Yeah, I think I got that pretty good. So I'm really excited because I do. Say what you want about Christmas season, we get peppermint and peppermint mocha stuff, and that always makes me very happy, so I'm excited. Alright. Let's give it a shot. Smells proper pepperminty. Ooh. So, right off the bat, it feels pretty similar to the Starbucks version. It has a very similar flavor profile. And granted, I know I haven't taken a drink from the Starbucks one yet. I'm going to get to it. But I have, since they brought out the Peppermint Mocha Frappuccino, I've probably had about 8 of the damn things. I like them a lot. So, it is definitely very reminiscent. Whereas, with the Thin Mints from Dunkin' Donuts, it was a very, very different kind of experience. But this appears to be very similar. And it's nice. Not too sweet, not too bitter. The peppermint is nice and strong. The mocha aspect kind of comes in, sort of at the tail end. You get a nice little sort of kind of dark chocolate, almost bitterness to it. If I had to guess, and I am guessing at the moment, I'll, obviously try out the Starbucks in a couple minutes here. I think the Starbucks probably has a little bit more depth of flavor. But again, that's just me being preemptive. But no, I mean, it's nice. It's, I was almost certainly going to like it because, if you watch my channel, you know I love like peppermint and chocolate as a combination. I love mint in general anyway, but peppermint and mocha, peppermint and chocolate, I love that stuff. So there was a good likelihood that I was going to like this. The only thing that would have maybe prevented it was if it was just tasted really low quality or something. And that doesn't appear to be the case. It actually tastes really proper. It's doing everything that I need it to do. I've got the peppermint, I've got the mocha, I've got the coffee aspect of it, kind of balancing things out a little bit. Because, as much as I like the peppermint and the mocha, you don't want any one thing to be too, at the forefront of the flavor. Because if it's just that, then it just kind of overwhelms the whole experience. The peppermint is definitely the strongest aspect, I would say. The mocha is maybe a little bit more subdued by comparison, but it's there. It's doing what it needs to do, and the coffee itself doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like bitter or anything. It also isn't like overly sweet. Yeah, overall it's nice. It's got a nice kind of blend to it. I don't have any issue with it. But let's compare it against the real deal. Because again, this is the reigning champion of peppermint mocha iced coffee stuff. Let's see if my presumptions are correct, or fuck, man, maybe it's literally just the same stuff, just put into a different bottle. Wouldn't be the first time companies have done that, so. Different smell profile. Interesting. Yeah. I get the feeling like this is going to be a little bit heavier on the chocolate than the Casey's. Let's give it a go. Oh, wow. That's hugely different. Huh. Wow. I was way the fuck off. They are not that similar at all. Huh. Interesting. Very unexpected. Very unexpected. So I think one of the things that immediately is giving it a different flavor profile than the Casey's, is that fundamentally they're using the Frappuccino aspect as a base. Because whether you're going with the peppermint mocha, the vanilla, what have you, they're all, I would imagine, working off the same base flavors, and then you're just adding to that to get whatever difference you want. And it has a very distinct kind of flavor to it. It's very different than just the straight iced coffee stuff. It's a little bit sweeter. There's a little bit more to it. It also drinks a little bit heavier. And in terms of it definitely has a more balanced kind of blend of the flavors with the mint and the chocolate and everything. The mint is not as powerful as it was with the Casey's. Chocolate is a little bit more pronounced, but they kind of have something working against them a little bit, which is that Frappuccino flavor. Whereas comparatively, the iced coffee flavor for the Casey's was somewhat neutral. It still had a flavor to it. The Frappuccino, and it's one of those things where you can really only taste it when you're comparing it directly, it's a little bit more intrusive, and it kind of takes away from the peppermint and the mocha, which isn't inherently a bad thing. It is ultimately a Frappuccino. You still want that flavor there, but I have to admit, this really kind of threw me. I was not expecting this to be the case. It's still a very good drink. I still really enjoy the peppermint mocha one, but I've got to admit, there's something to be said for the Casey's. Okay, well, the Casey's definitely a little bit thinner. It's a little bit more one-dimensional. It definitely does feel like a more budgeted version of the Starbucks Frappuccino. But where I do feel like they maybe kind of, again, added sort of a little bit, or rather, kind of went for a little bit more of a budget aspect. They did kind of go over there and make up for it in making that peppermint mocha flavor, well, specifically the peppermint, more prominent. I would say the peppermint is more prominent in the Casey's than it is in the Starbucks. Whereas with the Starbucks, it's more multifaceted overall. The peppermint's still there, the mocha's still there, but the Frappuccino element is really the big crux. It changes things pretty significantly in ways that I really hadn't thought of. I mean, there's no denying that the Frappuccino, I think it's a little bit higher end for what it is. It's Starbucks, But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's my favorite in this instance. Alright. So, which is my winner? Which is, ultimately, I'm still going to give it to Starbucks. But it was a genuine challenge in my head. Because ultimately it came down to, what do I want most out of this overall experience? Because I do want the peppermint mocha. That's the thing. That's the whole fucking thing, realistically. And in terms of the peppermint, Casey's is better. But that kind of thinness aspect to it, the fact that you don't really get a lot in the way of the mocha, it's there. But the peppermint, it's definitely a peppermint heavy one, which I don't entirely hate. I like the peppermint aspect a lot. But when you're tasting them side by side, like, this was perfectly okay. It's one of those things where, like, I liked both of them better before I tasted them against one another, and then I could kind of notice things a little bit more clearly. But yeah, I mean, this one surprised me with how much I liked it. This one kind of surprised me with how much, in comparison, I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to. But yeah, I am still going to give it to the Frappuccino overall, because I do think, again, I think it just has more going on. And even if that does diminish the peppermint mocha aspect a little bit, it's maybe not quite as punchy, the overall drinking experience I personally find to be just a little bit better. It feels and tastes like you're just drinking a little bit better of a drink. But 2 questions have to be asked in regards to the Casey's. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes and yes, actually. It didn't win, but it didn't lose by much. Like, I would say that this definitely won out way more than the Dunkin's Thin Mints. As much as I like that one too, to be fair. But with that one versus the Starbucks had the clear advantage the whole time. This one, I really came close to giving this one the win. It really wasn't until I went back for that final one to kind of confirm. It actually is pretty good. And I mean, it's a limited edition flavor. And I think that, I would grab the Frappuccino before I would grab this. But at the same time, there are times when I would grab this instead of the Frappuccino. Because I do think that it does a really nice job with the peppermint mocha aspect, specifically the peppermint. And it's not a bad drink. It's a little bit thin, but that's not a terrible thing. So, yeah, I still think it's worth giving a shot. And I think if you're somebody who you already like that flavor combination, give it a go. I don't think you'll not enjoy it. If you're somebody who doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. Get right with whatever deity you personally believe in, because this shit is holy. Anyway, sacred. That's the word I should have used. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, spend this rest of your folks. Go over yourselves a truly peppermint mocha-tastic rest of your life, because damn it, I love peppermint mocha. Follow 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it, I live it, I'm out there with you in it. Life can be very frustrating and stressful, and when we deal with those situations in our lives, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe there's a peppermint mocha drink out there that is widely available at some chain that happens to exist in Illinois, because I'm not going out of state for it. And you can go over there and hit me up and be like, Brandon, you gotta go to, like, Billy's fucking barbecue. They got their own version of the thing. And I'll be like, it seems like a weird thing to have at a barbecue, but who knows, right? So then I go to Billy's barbecue, but it turns out it was a trap. Now there's ninjas around, and I have to go over there and use my own personal robotic ninja skills, because I'm a robotic ninja, in case you didn't know. And I have to go over there, and I have to fight them off and shit and everything. You know, it'll be a hard-fought battle, and it'll turn out at the very end, be like, why did you betray me? And, a whole cliched thing, but it'll be fun. If nothing else, if I'm going to be involved in a ninja fight, okay, and, in fictional terms, in reality, I would just die. But in fictional terms, I can promise you it's going to be a well-choreographed fight, because I've watched enough goddamn kung fu and martial arts movies. I'm not going to let that shit happen to me. It needs to be a good fucking fight scenes. Or conversely, let's not ambush me with ninjas. I don't think it'd be as entertaining as, we might all want it to be. I think, I would just die pretty quickly. Yeah, so, bye.